Relax. I am not leaving the country our ancestors built, and I'm damn sure not leaving before I get my reparations.
Hell no.
Right? I can tell you how many times we have seen that in the comments, but here's the thing. Reparations are a claim against the United States, y'all. They are not a reward for continuing to put up with ABS.
Mm-mm. In other words, you don't have to keep your body in America to remain someone America owes.
That's right. That's right. Right. Moving to Portugal, moving to Ghana, Mexico, Colombia, or anywhere else on this planet does not magically erase the debt. And today, we're going to explain why. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Ric. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
And welcome to a place where we talk about money, retirement, travel, life abroad, and building a life with more freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
More options and more peace. Y'all got to forgive me. You hear I got a cold.
And we're coming to you from Lisbon, Portugal, where we've lived for 4 years now.
That's right. But we're still American citizens.
Sure
we still
enough.
vote. We still pay U.S. taxes. We still own property in the United States. Our family is there. Our history is there, right? We just can't live there no more.
Nope.
Right?
Don't want to live there anymore. And apparently some people think that means we've given something up.
Baby. No. We changed our address. We did not change our ancestors.
So we want to do 3 things today. First, we need to get clear about what reparations actually are.
That's right.
Second, we need to talk about who actually owes the debt. And then we're going to deal with the big question. Why on earth would moving abroad cancel it?
And we want you to think about that. No, seriously, think about one question while you're watching, because if you knew for certain that moving abroad would not affect any kind of reparations that may come down the line, would that change how you viewed leaving the United States? Put your answers in the comments or the chat. And if you are watching from the future, hey. Or if you're watching on LinkedIn or Substack, hey, put your answer in the comments because we're going to come back to that. Now, what we need you to do, we need you to subscribe, right?
Thumbs up.
Right. And hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live. Join us on our journey to 100,000, and special thanks to our channel members.
Thank you.
Right, and stick around to the end. We might have some legends joining us at the conversation's end. All right, so let's get right to it.
All right, let's start at the beginning. What exactly are we talking about when we say reparations?
And this is where Nicole Hannah Jones makes a distinction that is really important. See, we tend to talk about slavery in terms of racism, right? Like it's a racist institution. And obviously it was. But slavery, first and foremost, was always and will always be an economic institution.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, meaning folks was making money.
That's right, right? Our ancestors labored and somebody else got the money. Their labor was stolen, right? Wealth was extracted from them and redistributed to other people and other institutions. Racism just helped justify the extraction, but the extraction itself was economic.
Yes, it was. And then slavery ended.
The economic extraction did not, right? Understand. Folks want to talk about slavery ended and that's it. Why y'all still talking about? That's the part we have to understand, because when you get when we start talking about black code, right? Jim Crow, right? Racial apartheid, employment discrimination, segregated schools, and then housing.
Yeah.
The government was all up in that paperwork, right?
Because there's this history America likes to tell itself that black people and white people just sort of ended up living in different neighborhoods.
That's de facto, right? Like everybody just pick one side of the town or another. No. The federal government helped create this thing, and that is called de jure, not de facto. The federal government, the state, local governments, right? They were all in it. The government was in the paperwork, y'all.
Government receipts.
That's right, the government receipts. Take Redline. Black neighborhoods were identified as bad investment risks. Y'all know that. which helped cut those communities off from mortgage financing and investments.
Mm.
Then you had what, the FHA administrator, the FHA or the Fair Housing Administration refusing to insure mortgages in Black neighborhoods and supporting segregationist housing practices, right? You had restrictive covenants that kept Black people from buying or renting homes in certain neighborhoods. Take Levittown, for instance, outside of New York. That was segregated. The federal government said, in order for us to put money behind this expansion of housing, you have to put in the covenants that Black folks cannot ever buy these houses. All right? Segregated public housing, right? Zoning, urban renewal that displaced Black communities. What else?
So this wasn't just somebody's granddaddy, old ass, stanky ass granddaddy saying, I don't want to sell my house to Black people.
No, that's too easy, right? That's what they want us to think, right? It's just some individuals. Hell no. It's the federal government. It was government policy that helped create this system. And that matters, right? It matters a whole hell of a lot when we start talking about who owes the repairs.
Yeah.
Who owes the repairs?
And this is the part that really connects to money.
Yeah, because we build wealth by owning things, y'all. The easiest for most Americans, the easiest way is to buy a house, right? To own a home, right? The house appreciates, you build equity. Maybe you borrow against that equity to send your kid to school. Maybe you'll borrow against it to start a business, or maybe your children inherits the house.
Or you help your kids buy their first house.
Exactly, right. And then they start the process with a head start. That's how it works. That's compounding, not just money compounding, that's advantage compounding. Now, imagine the federal government helping one family get into that system and strategically, purposely keeping our families out of that system.
That shit's wrong and they know it was wrong.
That's right.
Now, we're not just talking about somebody's hurt feelings.
We're talking about a balance sheet, y'all. If grandmama couldn't buy the house, she didn't get the appreciation, right? She didn't have the equity to help your mama. Mm-hmm. And then your mama didn't have it to help you.
And then somebody looks at us generations later and asks, why don't y'all Black people have more wealth?
That's right. That's right. This is why the Melon Felon wants to erase our history, folks. All right. Think that if you think that this conversation is about something that ended, in 1865 or some stuff like that, no, we are talking about the economic damage that compounds and is compounding today. So
now we get to the question: who actually owes the debt?
The United States government owes the debt.
Mm.
And this is another place where people get reparations twisted, y'all, right? This is not about finding some random white person, right? Saying your great granddaddy owed my great granddaddy, or some such like that. So write me a check. That ain't the argument. That is not the argument.
And your family could have come to America after slavery.
Yeah, that's not the point. That doesn't matter because the claim is against the government. The government protected slavery. The government enforced racial apartheid, right? We know this. Scholarly works document how the government policies helped create housing systems that restricted Black wealth creation.
So if the government sanctioned the harm through its laws,
the government owes the debt. It owes the repair. And it's as simple as that. They are the debtor, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's get to the part that started this whole conversation.
That's right, because folks be getting into our comments, y'all, especially the one when we did best cities last Sunday, right? We talked about 8 best cities where folks can move for $2,000 a month or less. And these cities are all around the world. None of them are in the United States, all right? And so folks start getting up into our comments talking about, I ain't leaving America. Our ancestors built this country. I ain't leaving my reparations behind. And da-da-da-da-da. Who told you had to?
Yeah.
Who?
That's the question.
Right? Like if a company owes you money, and you owe to France, right? You moved to France. Like that company doesn't say like, whoo, she left. We ain't got to pay her last check.
That would be a hell of a business
Oh
model.
my God. Right? Like if somebody owes you money in California and you move to Texas, that debt does not magically disappear, you guys. And,
No, it doesn't.
and if the United States government owes a debt, the descendants of the people it harmed, why would that debt disappear, right? Why would that debt disappear just because, I don't know, somebody moved to Mexico? One of those descendants moved to Mexico.
Yeah, your address changed.
Right? But your ancestors did not change, right? And that's it. Reparations are not rent for occupying America's soil. That's not what they are for.
And there's something else people really get mixed up. Moving abroad and renouncing your American citizenship are two completely different things.
That's right. That's right. We live in Portugal. We are still American citizens, right? We have American passports. We vote in American elections. We own property in America. We pay American taxes, right?
Yeah. Oh, they definitely remember we're American around tax time.
Right? The IRS has never once been confused about our citizenship, not once. So if drunk ass Uncle Sam can find us in Lisbon when he wants our tax returns,
He can find us in Lisbon when it's time to pay the debt.
Exactly.
Now, I do want to deal with the emotional part of this argument because I understand it. Our ancestors built the country, literally.
Yeah. And then generation after generation of us, right, fought to make America live up to the freedom it claimed to believe in. So when someone says, I'm not letting them run me out, we understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
We really, really do. Like even Frederick Douglass was like, nah, we ain't going nowhere, right?
Yeah, but you have to ask yourself, does honoring our ancestors require us to limit our own freedoms?
Exactly. And that's the question, right? Because I don't believe our ancestors fought so that their descendants would be required to stay inside of oppression forever. They fought for freedom, and Black folks have always moved towards freedom, right?
Yes.
Like the Great Migration. Millions of Black people left the South. They didn't say, well, our ancestors built Mississippi, so we can't go to Chicago. No, they moved for safety, economic opportunity, political freedom, a better life for their children.
Yeah. The map is just bigger now.
Exactly. The map is bigger. Now, it can be Atlanta to Lisbon, or Chicago to Accra, or maybe Houston to Medellin, or maybe New York to Mexico City. The principle hasn't changed. More freedom, more options, a better life. And here's the part that may get us a little bit trouble.
Oh, Lord.
Staying in the United States by itself, y'all, is not an act of resistance.
No.
I'm not sure who told you that. Staying is not the same as fighting, right? Like if you're organizing and voting and building Black institutions, supporting reparations organizations, challenging policy, that's action. But simply keeping your behind in the United States is not a reparations strategy, okay?
And moving doesn't stop you from doing any of that.
No, it does not. It looks like we do. Y'all, I'm sorry.
It's
I'm sweating.
hot. Yeah,
it's wet. I'm sweating. And it looks like we do have, did you go ahead and do that? We do have a legend, so stick around, all right? Whoops.
We can see who's in the chat. Yeah,
I will see who's in the chat. So shout out to Allison and Rhonda. I see Greta is in the chat and Dee is in the chat. Demetrius, Benita, Greta. Wait, Greta, you're supposed to be asleep. Where you at? The other Greta Cobb. Kathy. All right, y'all. Look at us. So, okay, I just want to remind you. Staying in the place of oppression is not a reparations strategy, okay? That's not a reparations strategy, right? That's not activism. Look at us. Like, we live in Portugal. We still vote. We still pay attention. We still talk about policy, right? We still support Black businesses and Black institutions. We still care very deeply about what happens to Black folks in the States.
Yes, we
right?
do. We do.
And we have something else now. We have options.
Yep.
We have options. All right. So.
And that really is what OBU's part of this conversation really is.
Yeah, because we have never said every Black person needs to leave the States.
No.
Like, that's not our message, right? Our message is you should know what your options are. Money gives you options. A passport gives you options. A second residency can give you options. Income that can travel with you gives you options. Knowing that you could live somewhere else if you chose to, that's an option.
And options are freedom, y'all.
Right? Because that is why this connects to everything else we teach about, right? We teach about money. We didn't get our financial act together because we wanted to sit around and look at a big number in our investment account. We did it because we wanted our money to give us choices.
Yeah.
Choices about where we lived, when we retired, how we spent our time, right? What we were willing to put up with. Hello, right? What we could say no to or hell no to.
Hell no.
That's freedom. That is freedom.
And that's why we rebuilt Beyond the Bling.
Yeah. Beyond the Bling 3.0 is for late bloomers like us. Y'all know that, who are looking at the next chapter and saying, okay, what can my money make possible? Not do I look rich or do I have something that somebody else wants? No, none of that. What does the life I actually want cost? What can work? When can work become optional, right? What needs do I need? What wants do I have? And what needs to change in my cash flow? And what options could open up if I start managing my money differently and making different decisions financially right now?
Yeah, because the goal isn't the bling.
No, we got to get beyond the bling, right? The goal is freedom. So that's where you are. The information about Beyond the Bling is in the description below. And let's bring on our legend. Hey, Lee, are you there? We can hear you.
We can hear you. You look, you're frozen.
Awesome. I wondered if you were able to. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, you're frozen, but we can hear you just fine. So what did you think about what we had to say today?
There you go.
Now you can see me?
Yes, we can see you and hear you.
Oh, well, mainly what I was thinking about was, like you said, having a flexible income, having options, that gives you option. Having a passport gives you options. Having the ability to move around. Hi, Benita. Having the ability to move around everywhere, that's options to me. That's freedom. I mean, I look at the fact that my grandmother, why did she move from Georgia as a sharecropper down to Florida?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there was stuff that was going on up in Georgia. She moved her whole family down here, probably for freedom. I've heard that other family moved up to Chicago. She wouldn't have told me to stay in the States if it was, I had a passport, had the money, and been able to do this.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I am I understand, when the only ties we have because of the diabolical institution of chattel slavery, that the only tie we have is to the continent of North America, right? I mean, we have ancestrally a tie to the continent of Africa. We don't know the country. We know the mixtures because they forcibly mixed us all up, right? And so, I understand that it's hard to make that decision when really, to me, African Americans are the only people on the planet without a home. And other folks from the diaspora. That, the Caribbean, not so much because those are Black run, right? Island nations. But like folks that are in South America that are not Black run, we are people without a home.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that puts us in a very unique situation. But does that mean that we give up all ties to America? Like I appreciate the spunkiness and the fight that America made us have.
Yeah.
Right? I can appreciate that. And it gives us an advantage as we move through the world.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean I want to put up with that nonsense. And when I look at what folks are going through in the United States, which y'all are going through, it's crazy. Between explosive diarrhea, ICE is still out of control, right? Now you got, I saw some crazy stuff with now cops doing crazy stuff, and and then the nightclub that they raided, the black nightclub that they raided, asking
Really?
people to show their IDs before they could leave. All black folks. It was one of our clubs. So that's why I was telling y'all. Y'all kept saying, I'm foundational Black American, foundational Black American. They were foundational Black Americans, and they were treated as if they were not. Because you look a little Haitian to me. You look a little Dominican to me. They don't know that. They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. Imagine if they came up to you today, could you prove that you were a citizen? And if you walk around with your passport and they snatch it, what you gonna do?
That's
Like,
gonna be
these are
messed up.
real questions that we need to be thinking, because I'm telling you, just because we don't see the kind of crazy stuff that we saw in Minneapolis when the 2 white folks got shot up by ICE, just because we don't see it in the media does not mean it's not still happening.
That's right.
It's just not being shown. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Honey. All right. So we do not want you to mistake what reparations are really about. We do not want anybody to guilt you into thinking that Black people do not have enough responsibility to get cash. They owe us cash. Not, all of our descendants can go to public college for free. No, cash. It's none of their effing business what we do with the money. We didn't ask them what they did with the stolen labor with that money.
No.
It was an economic rape, and it needs to be an economic repair.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And there is a legal argument for this. Don't let the Candace Owen people of the world fool you. Right?
So let's bring this all the way back.
Right? Reparations are about a specific harm. The harm was economic. The government helped create and enforce systems that prevented generations of Black Americans from building wealth, period, the end. And if the government owes the repair, the debt does not disappear when you cross an international border.
So where you live doesn't matter. Where you live doesn't change who your ancestors were.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
we can live in Lisbon. We can live in Accra. We can live in Cali, Montevideo, right? Durban, South Africa, or wherever the hell we choose. And still, the United States owes us a debt. We do not have to choose between demanding what we are owed and building a beautiful life somewhere else. No. We can do both.
We can do both. And you can remember where you came from without being required to stay there.
Oh, that's the one. All right. You can remember where you came from without being required to stay there. And I want to leave you with the question we started with. If you knew for certain that moving abroad would not affect any reparations that are coming down the line, would that change how you think about leaving the United States? Tell us in the comments. Mm-hmm. And if you know somebody who keeps saying I ain't leaving without my reparations, send them this video.
Because freedom is the point.
Right? And our Black utopia is not a dream. it's a destination, right, y'all? So who coming to the winter reunion?
Come on.
Right, and New Year's Eve party here in Lisbon, Portugal. And we have a summer reunion coming up during the Juneteenth week, as always, in 2027. That information is in the description below. If you need help coming up with a plan. Thank you, Sarah said. Thank you. If you need help coming up with a plan to move abroad, join our community or get one-on-one coaching. We have a private community where we can have these conversations without them listening. Okay, we're on Facebook, but we're moving that community off of Facebook and into our private community. We've got monthly group coaching that goes in with that. You can sign up for that. We bring in special guests to talk about life abroad, to talk about the money, the taxes, and everything else. All right, y'all. So with that, thank you, A-Lee. And
don't forget to visit the merch shop.
Oh, that's right.
Come on now.
We
are definitely adding more stuff to the merch shop. If you have any ideas that you want to see in the merch shop, just let us know.
Oh, yes, that's right. Let us know, because we are adding things all the time. We have a special shirt just for the summer, and then it's going to go away when it gets to fall. So check that out. And actually, this is an enterprise among utopians, all right, because most of the money does not stay in our pocket. It goes to another Black business owner that we have partnered with to do this. We're not, because we ain't new to this, we true to this, all right? We practice what we preach. And with that, we'll see y'all on Sunday, because we're going to talk about, it's been 4 years, y'all, since we've lived in Lisbon. America looks a lot different. A lot of stuff looks a lot different, and we're going to talk about it. So we'll see you on Sunday. Yeah.
This is our Black utopia, rising in the light, freedom in our future.